Hello, so today we're going to be tracking the wheels on the van. This can be done on any vehicle. What you'll need is something to clean the threads on the track rod ends, which I'll show you in a bit. A light. On this van, a transit van 350 rear wheel drive, you'll need a 24mm spanner and an adjustable of some sort, big enough to give good leverage. You'll need some tape, masking tape and some twine or string, a cloth to keep your hands clean, some WD-40 for cleaning your threads, and a tape measure. And what you do first of all is you get some masking tape and you stick a piece of string, make sure it's at the highest point on the tyre where it exits, and you stick your string on at the back the same here, so that it passes the highest point of the tyre as it bulges outwards, and then it will go forward. You'll see that the rear wheels, as usual, are slightly towed in, which is how rear wheel drive vehicles are, and that string runs through the centre of each hub like that. You put it so it's like that, and then you run it up to the front, and as I say, you stick it on there so it crosses the high point of the tyre again, and then that way you can take your tape measure. I mean, you can see by eye if it's perfect or not. That's just brushing that, or even slightly loose on that. Obviously, the first thing you do is you set your steering completely straight. You have to get in there, set your steering straight, put your strings on. I suppose I should say as well that you should roll the van to a halt with the steering straight and just give the steering a few wiggles and centre it, and then rock the van side to side, or your car side to side physically with your arm. Rock the whole vehicle either side so that the suspension and the rubber bushes settle, and you're able to get a more accurate reading that way. Now, on this side it's exactly the same as on the other side. You put your strings along, and then you can come along with your tape and you can measure. So that's 24mm. That's 24mm. So you can see where I'm going with this, can't you? I've already adjusted my van and it's completely perfect now. I mean, there's no point measuring the back. The back will be slightly towed in, as it should be for a rear wheel drive vehicle. You see that? Slightly. So it's just brushing here, I think. Not tight there, you want it slightly loose, but that's already set by the back axle. You can't do anything with the back. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to track the wheels, not like they do it in the garage where they only adjust the two front wheels unless you pay a lot more for four-wheel tracking. What you're trying to do here is a four-wheel track so that all wheels are in line with each other. And this is how you do it without expensive laser beams or paying a mechanic. So you've stuck your strings on. Say it was out, because when I come along I had a big gap like that between my tyre and the string, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's making a squeaking noise and wearing that tyre down. So we stuck the strings on, and once you've done that and you've seen that one of your tyres or both of your tyres are wrong, there's a big gap or there's no gap, it's either twisting around or it's out compared to the other one, you can get underneath with your light and your spanners. Let's get under here. And you can see your track rod end. There's a wasp here, so let's just get rid of that little bugger. That was a bit of entertainment. Trying to get on the video. So you can see your track rod end there. On your track rod end, you put your adjustable on the track rod like that itself, and then you've got the lock nut, haven't you? Well, that's what the 24mm. Obviously, if it's on a different car, it will be a spanner of whatever size this nut here is, which is your lock nut. Now, when you hold back with this one, don't let the track rod move, because that will throw everything out. You break it off You squeeze the two spanners together, loosen this lock nut here, roll it back a bit, clean all those threads. That's what the wire brush or drill with a brush and the WD-40's for. You clean all them threads up all the way along. These threads here. See them? Right there, those threads. Clean all them all the way along until you're able to turn that nut, once it's loose, with your fingers, backwards and forwards, easy. That way it's not going to throw everything out when you come to tighten it up. And then what you do, say the wheel was towing in too much, i.e. the front of the wheel was pointing inwards and the back was pointing outwards, you start to wind this, and I'm not sure if they're all the same, which way the threads work on most vehicles, but it will become obvious when you're winding this in or out as to how it affects the tyre. You'll have to pop out, have a look at your bit of string again, make sure what's happening, and then, oh, I'm going the wrong way, let me turn it the other way, and you'll start to get the hang of it. Oh, okay, so if I turn this anti-clockwise, i.e. upwards in this position, it's gonna push the tyre out at the back or pull it in at the front, pull it in at the back. So you'll be able to straighten your tyres up, and that's basically all there is to it. It's very simple. Some people may have racks that don't rotate freely on the boot, at which point this boot, this dust cover for the steering rack that's on the other end of this tie rod, track rod, you should cut this clip off carefully without damaging this. You might have them that you can remove with grips or a screwdriver. You cut that off, and then what you can use is you can either use a clip that you buy for it, but to be honest, you may as well just get some decent cable ties, pull them well tight on there with a pair of grips, and then cut them off short. That'll be perfectly good enough, and it won't cost you any money. So that's basically how you adjust the steering to track the vehicle, four-wheel tracking, without the use of jigs or lasers or a visit to the garage or any of that. It's very, very simple. I did this van yesterday, and I've just took it for a drive up the road, and it's absolutely perfect now. No more squeaking, no more wearing on the tyre, because it was like being in an American vehicle. If you've ever watched any of those 1970s cop shows from America, where every time they turned the corner, all their tyres squeaked. You know, I know that's Hollywood effects, but that's how it was on this van. And to be fair, when you go to the back of your vehicle, the quickest way you can do it is you can get right down here and look through the face of all your tyres. And I could see it without the string. That the tyre on this side of the vehicle, the one that was making a load of noise, was cocked outwards. It was cocked outwards like that. The front tyre was cocked outwards like that, and I could see it by looking down this line. So it's not the magical mystery that they make it into, and there's no reason to be spending money. Get yourself a couple of spanners, get under there. Alright guys, I hope that's helpful. Cheers now.